Hello and welcome to your Region This Week. I'm Anandi Carroll-Woolery. A lot has gone on this past week, so let's get started. Conestoga College has just announced that they're expanding into downtown Kitchener by moving into Market Square. We spoke to the president of the college, Dr. John Tibbetts, about the expansion.
Okay, well, it's a few phases. The first phase gets us in the building at about 80,000 square feet, which allows us to put about 1,000 students in there. The reason we can put that many in that space is that we are not going to have, as we would have, say, at Dune or on the Guelph campuses, which tend to be not in downtown areas. We have to put food services, a lot of food services in cafeteria space, and so we won't have to do that. We won't have to have a kitchen or whatever. There are a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of shops, where the students can get food, and we also assume they'll live close by. The international students will likely live, certainly if not walking distance, certainly very close as far as public transit. It'll open in January 2020, which is not that far away when you think of it, and it's the big issue for us is to make sure that the Europro, the owner of the building, gets the facility ready in time for January, and we're optimistic that they'll do that. So that's the first phase, and over the next 2 or 3 years, we will take over more space in that building. If you drive down the 401, you certainly know where Conestoga is. There we are on both sides. We're in Cambridge, and at some point we'd like to grow that campus a little more. But we're well positioned now to be really in a bigger footprint in Southwest Ontario. So it should improve the ability of people near the downtown area, and the public transit is probably better towards the downtown. It'll enhance access, public transit access to one of our campuses, just like up in Waterloo that does the same thing. But it'll give us more of a brand. We're growing in Waterloo. We have signage there. We're growing here in downtown Kitchener. So I think the graduates should be happy. We've certainly grown an awful lot. I think our brand awareness is quite strong. I think we have over 50% of the workforce now in this region is taking a course at Conestoga. This will make it easier for people to take courses at the college. They won't have to travel down to Dune for some of the programming. It'll be right downtown. So I think it's a good news story.
A rental bike program in Waterloo Region has just launched a pilot across the city. DropBike is an app-driven program that allows you to rent a bike just by the touch of a button. We spoke with DropBike about how people can get riding.
Yeah, so DropBike is a micromobility company. We're a hub-based technology. So in the case of Waterloo, we actually offer 3-speed, fully equipped bikes for $1 per hour. And we've been on the ground for about 3 weeks now. The first thing to do is download the app. Drop Mobility, or you can even type in DropBike. An app will pop up. It's got like an orange icon. It looks like this color on my shirt. And from there, you will be able to see a map of all the different bikes that are available around you. All you have to do then is walk up to a bike, hold up your phone to it, scan the QR code, which is located on 3 different portions of the bike. The bike will unlock, and then you're free to start riding. So right now, the stations are located all across Cambridge, Waterloo, and Kitchener. So in the case of Cambridge, they're in Galt, they're in Preston, they're in Hespeler. In Waterloo and Kitchener, they are located at the universities, as well as really the entire area of each one of those cities, to be honest with you. It's quite a wide service zone, and right now we're in the process of what we call phasing up and scaling up our service. And so what that means is we have all of our hubs selected, but we're slowly deploying the bikes so that it gives users a chance to get used to the bikes, and for city partners to see them there, and for it to be an organized and sustainable system before we fully scale up. All of our bikes are actually GPS enabled, and so we actually know where our bikes are at all times. That, in our experience, has prevented a lot of theft as it is. Apart from that, is we actually have a cable lock as well as a steel lock on each of the bikes. So the bikes are actually have lock to technology, meaning that when you finish up with the bike, you don't just lock the tire, you actually lock a cable lock around a bike rack or a bike post, as I mentioned, and then that actually locks in with the steel lock. And so even if someone who wants to steal the bike were to try to take the bike and they were to cut the cable lock, which is pretty difficult in of itself, they actually wouldn't be able to use the bike. The bike is, it's got a steel lock around the tire, so you can't actually use that tire at all. It's not going to spin. In addition to that, we have completely non-conforming parts. So the parts were all sourced from different areas, different manufacturing companies, that kind of thing. The reason why is that we basically don't want that bike to be usable for each of its individual parts, only as a total bike. So someone can't just steal a portion of the bike. Basically just that we're very excited to be here. Take a look on your streets. There's going to be more orange bikes popping up every single day. Yeah, and try out the program. We think you'll love it, and we're excited about the summer.
Your Region This Week continues in 2 minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back. 570 News' Mike Farwell spoke with a local catering company on how paying a living wage has increased the quality of production at her business.
Bluntly, doesn't that mean that you, as the president and CEO, have to do with less because you're paying your employees more?
You know what? It does, and I'm okay with that. What's been fantastic for our bottom line is that my staff stay longer. I'm able to attract better quality staff, and so I'm able to both attract and retain good staff in an industry that is known for turnover.
So we've got a minimum wage in this province right now at $14 per hour. The living wage, hourly wage that you would be paying people now at Little Mushroom Catering is what?
$16.15. However, I don't have anyone on my staff who makes less than $16.50 right now, and that includes like our dishwashers, our bussers.
And is that based on years of experience or just the number that you determined would work with Little Mushroom Catering?
Partly because we have staff. So $16.50 would be where I might start an entry-level job, but the staff who I have been with us long enough that they've already made a wage increase.
What has the reaction from staff been at the wages that are paid at Little Mushroom Catering?
Very positive, even with my senior staff. What it means is that the gap between the lowest paid and the highest paid employee is much smaller than in some other, other restaurants or other businesses in general. But it also means that there's more teamwork and more camaraderie. It's less of a, my job is more important than yours, and more of a, let's all work together because we're a team and we're equals.
So how long, I'm trying to think back in my mind, but how long has Little Mushroom Catering been around? When were you founded?
8.5 years.
8.5 years. So for 7 of those years, it's business as what had prior to now been usual. And in the last 18 months to 2 years, the living wage comes in. What has been the change in the business, in the bottom line? Has it affected you?
Not as much as I thought it might have. But our revenues have been steadily climbing, and we were able to implement some other changes in our pricing to account for it.
It's an interesting idea, and I'm really heartened to hear about the uptake. Kudos to you for doing this and making it sound possible for a small. I remember when you were first starting out. Honest to goodness, we would see each other at so many different events, and here you are 8 years later, and paying a living wage to employees. Kudos to you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Next, 519 Sports Online shows us action-packed coverage this week.
Sarah Beam and the KW Water Polo Club playing for a bronze medal on Sunday afternoon at the Under-12 Provincial Championship taking place at Wilfrid Laurier. KW Kraken facing the Middlesex Water Polo Club, and a big crowd on hand hoping to see Kraken finish on the podium at Provincials, and a strong start for KW. This is Alexia Dragiescu coming in. She's got space picks it up and puts it home. Kraken strikes 2 minutes in. It's 1-0. Later, watch the near side. That's Marko Mosevic with a nice pass to Teresa Herink, and she gives Kraken a 2-goal lead in the final minute of the first period. Back comes Middlesex. Maddie Watson fends off the defender, and it's a floater to the back of the net. Nice shot by Watson. 2-1 Kraken after 1. Second quarter, Marko Mosevic with a penalty from the 5-meter line, and his solid weekend continues. Mosevic has been one of the scoring stars at provincials, and it was a big second quarter for Kraken. Elliot Lavoie-Lamy scores his first goal of the weekend, and it couldn't have come at a better time. 5-2 KW. Then it's Marko Mikic with the ball, and it's a deep pass to Elliot Lavoie-Lamy. He chases it down, swims in, and he's got his second goal of the day. Lavoie-Lamy makes it 6-2 KW. At the other end, Middlesex is awarded a penalty shot, but Marko Mikic, massive save. And how about this? Mikic grabs the ball, fires it down the pool. Alexia Dragiescu is there, and she scores for Kraken. What a sequence that is. Kraken with 5 goals in 7 minutes, and they are up 7-2 after 2. Third quarter, here comes Middlesex. Maddie Watson over to Aiden Barton, and just like that, we've got a 2-goal game. Middlesex right back in it, trailing 7-5. But in the fourth, Kraken takes control. This is Elliot Lavoie-Lamy in front, scoring his third goal of the afternoon. KW with a 3-goal advantage. And a little later, Marko Mosevic fires, scores. Kraken is leading 9-5. And after a slow start to the season, a major accomplishment for the U12 squad from the KW Water Polo Club. They bring home a bronze medal from the Provincial Championship. The players receiving their medals after the game. Then it was time for a team picture. A terrific day for Kraken, and they win it by a final score of 12-5 over Middlesex. Elliot Lavoie-Lamy recording a hat trick for KW.
I'm really proud because at the start of the season, we weren't the best. We were losing most of our games, but after we started going and trying more and battling, we started getting better and we started winning. For me, 3 goals is awesome because in most games I'm on defense, and these were the only 3 goals I've ever scored in the tournament. These are my first 3 goals, so I'm really proud of it.
I love every single person here. They're my second family, and it just means so much to me to see everyone's how happy they are, and the hug there. I almost started crying.
Don't go anywhere. Your region this week continues right after this. See you then. Welcome back. A couple weeks ago, we showed you a story on Will Boma and his stance on the abortion movement. On May 31st, a rally was held with both pro-life and pro-choice sides of the argument.
Whose choice? My choice! Whose choice? My choice! Whose choice? My choice! Whose body? My body!
I'm so excited. Everybody's so peaceful and so passionate, and the amount of people that came out and felt the need to speak is just so overwhelmingly positive, and we just got to get everybody to vote and speak that way too, and it's just so great.
Youngest members of our kind still have no human rights. And so let today just be a continuation or the beginning of speaking up for those who have no voice.
Yeah, so when I saw that the pro-choice rally said that Will Boma did not represent his constituents, I organized the rally to show that he did in fact represent all of us who believe that all human beings should have human rights, and that human rights should begin when the human begins, which is at fertilization.
they're so peaceful and so accommodating. I wouldn't say love that they're here, but they've been so well, and we've kind of got it divided, and it's going to be so peaceful and fantastic.
Work happens in isolation. A lot of it happens late at night on the crisis line.
So we believe that it should not be controversial at all for politicians to support human rights for all human beings. So when a group shows up to say that a politician should not have done such a thing, we want to encourage him and support him and show him that we stand behind him when he takes that position.
Because dealing with these issues directly affects the physical safety.
And I think, I can hold my personal views on that and still represent everyone in the riding. And so I'm looking forward to welcoming those people, the protesters here, and just have that conversation with them that, we're not planning on taking anything away, but what a wonderful thing that we can live in a free society where we can enjoy differences of opinion and agree to disagree, but still work forward to what's best for the people that live in Brantford Brant.
I want to go on with the October election in mind, because that's important. That's my goal, is to just talk about the October election and how educate people how legislation is not really the top priority. People can fund things and defund things, and that's really important to pay attention to, is where the money is coming from and where the money can get cut off from.
A school in Brantford is showing how early childhood exposure to natural and musical playgrounds can benefit children in the long run.
This has been a labor of love. 4 years in the making. We worked together, staff and parents, so it was a community effort. We wanted a natural playscape. We have an amazing location right on the Grand River here in Paris, so we wanted to complement our location, and we also wanted to work with what current research is showing us with outdoor play and at-risk play for the children. So we started with initially, some of us went to San Diego for a conference, and the musical instruments that you can see behind me was our first big effort. We wanted those instruments because we wanted that opportunity for the children when they were outside. So we raised enough money, had the instruments installed, and then we said, okay, they look great, but what about the rest of the yard, right? Children don't get these opportunities, so many benefits to it, right? Simple things, even as problem solving, right? They get that opportunity to be out from under a watchful eye. Although they're always under supervision, it doesn't mean that someone's on top of them while they're here, so they get those opportunities to figure out their own issues. The imaginative play, the at-risk play. So we have a stump garden on the far side, and they can climb, they can jump, they can weave in and out, do whatever really that they want to do to experience and try. Can you tell me about one of the games you play and how you play it?
Please. We chase the bad guy. The bad guy, okay? Consequences.
The link between motor skills and brain growth and development, we know the significant impact that has. So we often say the hand is the tool or the development tool for the brain. So if we're not having our children jumping and running and playing and using their hands and using their feet, then some of those coordinated skills are going to lack, and they're going to lack forever. And the other issue is we know that they're directly linked to neurological growth. They need to physically master their worlds. This is the perfect environment for our kids to be doing that in, and we're so grateful that we've been able to provide it.
Your Region This Week continues right after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Preston High School is just one of many schools in the area starting their own 100 Notebook campaign. To explain the campaign, we spoke with the organizers of the 100 Notebook campaign and owners of Fiden Pens in Cambridge.
The 100 Notebook project started off in 2014 at our store, Fiden Pens, as we are the makers of the 100 Notebook project. And the idea is to distribute 100 notebooks at a time with a collaborating partner, and having everyone a chance to fill up these notebooks, color, draw, write, and return them back to us, and then we follow it up with an exhibition.
The 100 Notebook project started off in 2014. It was basically a project, it was a community project to engage the community, but the underlying message was that we have to preserve the written word. In the midst of all the technological development that is going on, we must not forget what was developed many centuries ago. So that was to encourage the young minds, to encourage them to the importance of journaling on a daily basis, that whatever thoughts they have, they should be able to document it. And hopefully with that thought that they've documented, somewhere down the line, they'll be able to actually, that will spark off to a bigger idea, bigger venture in their life.
We live in Waterloo Region. Waterloo Region for a long time has done some amazing things. Everybody put recycling in the blue box? Yeah.
So Scott Higgins, one of the coordinators and one of the founders of the Creative Capital of Canada, so he attended Preston High School when he was a student, and so he wanted to return here and connect back with Preston High School, and he knows, as I know, what a great school it is and what the kids would be able to offer in a program like this, and so we're very excited to be a part of it. I'm just excited to see sort of what's in their minds, what they're thinking about, their creativity, their passion for learning more about the world, their curiosity. I'm so fortunate to get to do the job I do and connect with kids every day about sort of what they're thinking about and learning about, and so I'm so excited to see what they do with these notebooks. What I see already is a real passion and enthusiasm for this project. I think it's really neat that we've been selected to be a part of it, and I can feel that energy from our students, so I know they're really looking forward to being involved.
Yeah, I think the 100 Notebook Project is humanity's simplest form of expression. We're so tied to our phones as a daily course, but there's just something beautiful about sitting down with a pen and paper and a notebook and processing your thoughts, exercising your curiosity and creativity. And we need to make sure that our young people don't lose sight of that and have time in their lives to be able to do things like that. So we were very excited to be having a great turnout with 100 students at high school. No, just stay creative. Be curious and stay creative. You're from a place in the world that has always done some amazing things, and we need to make sure that we keep inspiring and keep doing those amazing things. So get involved and stay creative.
That's it for another episode of Your Region This Week. If you have an event you would like covered or would like more information on the program, visit our website, rogerstv.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.